Empowered Teaching, organized by the Department of Research and Development, SK Research Group of Companies. Today we are honored to have Ms. Loganayagi, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Saveeetha School of Engineering, Chennai, as our esteemed resource person. Her expertise and insightful will guide us in understanding the vital role of ethics in education and its impact on empowering teaching practice. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for joining us in this meaningful discussions. Thank you and welcome once again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Shall we start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Start, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. A very good evening to one and all gathered here. So, our topic of discussion is integrating ethical decision making in curriculum design, strengthening values for empowered teaching. So, today we will be discussing the importance of integrating ethical decision making in curriculum design and classroom practices. So, ethics play a crucial role in shaping the values and behaviors of students, helping them navigate real world challenges responsibly. So, throughout the session, we will explore the significance of ethical education, various approaches to integrating ethics, and practical strategies that can be implemented in classroom settings. So, myself, Loganayagi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Saveeetha School of Engineering, is here to present you the topic. So, the first topic of discussion for today is the need for ethics integration. So, we are setting the stage by defining ethical decision making and its relevance in education. Ethical decision making is about recognizing, analyzing, and choosing the best course of action when faced with moral dilemmas. So, by incorporating ethics into education, we prepare students to think critically, analyze multiple perspectives, and act with integrity. So, for example, when students encounter the issues such as an academic dishonesty or fairness in group work, so the ethical reasoning equips them to make informed and just decisions. So we have to train the students in such a way that they take ethical decisions in the places where they have to. Our goal is to highlight how embedding ethics in curriculum design can build morally responsible and thoughtful citizens. So it is our responsibility to make our students build morally responsible and also as thoughtful citizens. So the next is regarding the significance of ethical education. So, ethical education nurtures qualities like empathy, accountability, and fairness, which are essential in personal and professional lives. So, when students are taught to analyze situations from multiple ethical perspectives, so they become compassionate and open-minded individuals. So, for instance, they when they address the issues like bullying, plagiarism, or environmental responsibility in the classroom, it helps to instill a sense of moral obligations. So let them practice those things. So let it be a practical experiences. So when such situations happens in their life, so how they face the situations. So emphasizing ethics in education not only prepares students to handle the real life situation, but it also contributes in building a more just and responsible society. So the next thing is about objectives of ethical decision making. So here we outline the key objectives of integrating ethical decision making in education. So our first aim is to develop critical thinking by encouraging students to analyze the situation from diverse ethical viewpoints. So the first is about critical thinking, making the students to think the same for the given problem, multiple perspectives. So they need to find multiple solutions to the same problem from different perspectives. So the second is fostering the moral responsibility. So it helps the students to recognize the consequences of their actions and take accountability. So they should be able to understand so what will be the consequence of any decisions that they are going to take. So thirdly is the reflective learning, which allows students to evaluate the implications of their decision through introspection. So lastly, enhancing problem skills through ethical reasoning equips students to address the complex dilemmas. So each and every objectives here, that is critical thinking, moral responsibility, and reflective learning, they are all they all play a vital role in building a foundation for lifelong ethical awareness and decision making. So next is about understanding the ethical decision making. So what is this ethical decision making and the concept of it? So the concept of ethical decision making is explained more detail here. It involves recognizing the moral dilemmas. The moral dilemmas, so the place where the students gets fluctuated become between good and bad. So what happens in front of them? So whether to take the right or the wrong one, and understanding the values and influencing the decisions. So for example, when students face dilemmas such as whether to report the any academic dishonesty, so they see their friends cheating in the exam, so it is they have to decide whether it has to be brought in or it has to be kept quiet. So he or she has to decide there. So they must consider the rules, consequences, and the impact on their peers. So by understanding these factors, students can develop a well rounded approach to making ethical choices in their lives. Next is moving on to the ethical theories and framework. So here we explore the four primary ethical frameworks that guide decision making. The first one is utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and care ethics. So the first thing is the approach focuses on maximizing the overall happiness and minimizing the harmness. So utilitarianism, nothing but maximizing the happiness and reducing the harmness. So, for example, policymakers may use these principles to allocate resources for the public benefit. So, they should always focus on the happiness. So, whatever policies, whatever decisions they make should bring in happiness to others and to reduce the harmness from that. So, the second policy is the deontology. So it emphasizes duty and adherence to rules regardless of outcomes. So here we focus on the duties, responsibilities, what has to be done, and rather than the benefits or the outcomes of it. Just focus on the work alone. So third one is the virtue ethics. So focus on developing the moral character through virtues like honesty, kindness, and fairness. So it is very important that these ethical theories and framework should be inculcated among students, and as faculties it is our responsibilities towards it. So these virtues have to be installed, so we can encourage the students and cultivate all these things and helps them in ethical decision making. So the last one is about the care ethics, the fourth one. It emphasizes empathy and maintaining the relationship when making ethical decisions. For example, considering the emotional impact on classmates when resolving conflicts. So, providing students with the foundation in these theories equip them to apply different ethical perspectives in decision making. So, students, when they are brought in or when they are taught these ideas, so it just nurtures in their mind, it just gets deposited in their mind and it helps them to take decisions. So the next one is regarding the real world applications of ethics. So here, this slide showcases real world applications where ethical decision making is essential. So we see in various fields like healthcare, technology, business, education, and so many other fields where this applications of decision making, ethical decision making is going to help us a lot. So coming to healthcare, just I'll give you a small example. So physicians face dilemmas about patient privacy versus public health, especially during pandemic. So healthcare details, whether it has to be shared or not. So next, coming to technology, when technology comes, so the AI developers must ensure algorithms are fair and unbiased. And coming to business, the corporate leaders need to maintain transparency and avoid conflicts of interest. So in each and every field, whatever we take, the ethics has to be followed. And coming to education, the teachers manage issues like fair grading and inclusive classroom environments. So I repeated the fourth real world applications which is being discussed is the education field, where teachers manage issues like fair grading. So they do fair grading and inclusive classroom environment, which helps the students get motivated towards their work and profession. So next is moving on with the embedding ethics into curriculum design. So curriculum mapping helps incorporation across subjects. So the various curriculum mappings here are: first one is the curriculum mapping, second is the ethics across disciplines, and third is the student centric learning. So coming to curriculum mapping, so what we do in curriculum mapping is we identify the points. So curriculum mapping is nothing but we identify the points where the discussions can naturally align with the subject content. So here we map the curriculum with the subjects. So, and we are going to incorporate these things into the students. Next, second point is ethics across disciplines. So, introducing these ethical concepts in diverse subjects. So, it's not that ethics has to be introduced as a separate subject. So, it can be incorporated and along with other subjects like science, literature, and social studies. So, next is the student centric learning. It is engaging the students in discussion, debates, and reflective exercises. So, and one more hidden thing within the student centric learning is the interdisciplinary module. It combines ethics with the real world scenarios to promote analytical thinking. So, this is how we are going to, or we embed the ethics into the curriculum design. So, ethics is not, it is not necessary that it has to be included as a separate subject. So, it can be included in all the subjects and in all the fields, whatever we choose. So, it has to be maintained in whatever fields, in whatever subjects we take. So, the next thing is regarding the designing the ethical lesson plans. So, how to design the lesson plans based on these ethics and how it has to be incorporated into the students. So, these lessons should be designed to cultivate critical thinking and decision making skills. So, these are the objectives of ethical lesson plan. So, when we design the ethical competencies and lesson plans, so these things have to be kept in mind. So the first thing is about the clear objectives. So the objectives has to be kept clear. The objectives of designing the ethical lesson plan should be clear, and we should understand what the student need, what has to be developed, and so on. So the second step is case studies. So after deciding what is needed by the students, it is good to make them understand with the help of case studies. So rather than teaching them honesty and empathy, fairness, so if these qualities are being taught to students with the help of an example or with a scenario or case study, so it will be helpful for them to make decisions. So if this is the case, and what will be the result likewise, and what is your opinion regarding it? So in this way, if the questions are going to be put to the students will start thinking about it, and they also think in an ethical way how to solve the problems. So next is the group activities. So group activity is encouraging peer decisions and collaborative problem solving. It is putting the people together, that is the students together, and giving them the problem or a case study and asking them to solve it. So in this way, if the lessons are being planned for ethics, so then it would be good. So first we have to have a clear objectives, and then we can use case studies for solving the issues, and also involve in group activities, which helps each and everyone to take an active part or play an active role in the discussions. So next is regarding the case studies for ethical learning. So case studies provides students with opportunities to analyze and apply ethical principles. So it is with the help of this case studies, that is what I was discussing earlier now. So it is because of this case study that helps them to understand situations or things better. So it is examples, or it is a story which we all like from our childhood days. So we all love stories. So the same thing. The case studies are nothing but the stories which make the students think. So the first thing is plagiarism and academic dishonesty. So explore the consequences and solutions for maintaining academic integrity. So give them various case studies and make them analyze what is the plagiarism, what is the problem over there, and how that particular thing can be rectified. So the second thing is about cyberbullying and digital responsibility. So foster empathy by analyzing the impact of harmful online behavior. So it is to the students we have to 100% teach them about cyberbullying, digital responsibility, how they need to handle the internet, and how they have to be careful with their informations, because it's a world of it's a digital world, and it plays a very important role. The data and the information plays a very important role, and how they have to be ethical in handling the data, and they should also protect their own data and should not also harm others data. So the third one is environmental sustainability. Examine the ethical implications of resource consumption. The last one is fair treatment in classroom. So discuss the scenarios where inclusivity and fairness are at the stake. So using these real world examples makes ethical concept more relatable and easier to understand. So give them a lot of case studies which helps them understand the situations and helps them to take decisions, and which is helpful for them in the future. So next is moving on with the empowering ethics, that is cultivating moral growth in education. So we have inculcated ethics into the curriculum. We have learned about how to have the lessons plan and the case studies, and then we are going to see now how to empower the ethics, that is cultivating moral growth. And here we will be covering the practical strategies and innovative approaches. So so how we can involve the students in practical strategies. So this ethical classes, whatever is going to be inculcated in the education for students, this should not be like a real a theory class for students, where the blackboard teaching or the smartboard teaching or anything is being taking place. So it's more of practical than more of theory. So it should have some innovative approaches where each and everyone comes out of their shell. So each and everyone should come out of their safe zone, and they have to involve in the discussions and understand the things. So, so ethical decisions can be encouraged through debates, questioning, think, pair, share, and role playing. Okay. So now we will understand what are the things which we are going to conduct in the classroom. So while taking classes or inculcating ethics into the academics, so these are the different things. These are the different tools which are going to help us a lot. So first one is a structured debates. So in the structured debates, what we can do is we can assign role to promote balanced perspective. So we can give them some case studies or some role for enacting. We can make them enact the role and provide justification whether it is correct or not. So that is one kind of thing, structured debates. Or another thing is explaining their roles, or giving them some topics and let them discuss on the topics. So they bring out the things, that is the balanced perspective. So they think from the perspective of that person and they bring out the points in favor of them. So that is the first thing, structured debates. So second one is Socratic questioning, that is Socratic questions. Socrates is a person who asks questions all every time. So Socratic questioning means use questions to guide ethical inquiry. So always ask questions. So students should be allowed for open-ended questions. The third one is think, pair, and share. Engage students with their peers. So it is engage students by having them analyze dilemmas with peers. So peer group of learning. So they can get themselves into group and they can involve in the discussions. And the person, one among the person, can explain to them. So that is think, pair, and share. So these techniques, so they can think together, they can pair it up, and they can share their ideas. So these techniques encourage deeper analysis of ethical issues. They help students explore multiple viewpoints and develop critical thinking skills. Next is ethics through technology. So in ethics through technology, technology can be a powerful tool in teaching ethics. So what we can do, so nowadays we use technology for teaching all or almost all the subjects. So it is now we are using this technology only, and we use Google Meet in order to get connected, and this is also technology. So now we are going to see how we are going to use ethics and how this technology is going to help us in teaching or promoting ethics among students. So first one is AI simulation present ethical scenarios for practical decision making, and the second one is virtual reality. So immerse students in diverse moral dilemmas. So give them various situations and ask them, and so how they solve the issues. And so that this is with respect to the virtual reality. And coming to the online forums, so make extend the ethical discussions beyond the classroom. So let it get extended. It's, so it is thinking beyond the classrooms and the discussions beyond the classrooms. And next one, the fourth one is the gamified learning platforms. Encourage ethical thinking through interactive challenges. So let there be some interactive sessions, some gamified approaches. We can use different technologies. Apart from this, also we can use various other technologies to to make the students understand the ethical scenarios, the realistic world scenarios. Online discussions extend learning beyond the classroom, so they can involve themselves in online discussions, and that helps them to understand the things much better. So next is the reflective practices. So reflection is a critical component of ethical learning. So this slide highlights techniques for fostering reflection in students. So the first one is journaling ethical dilemmas. That is, encourage students to document their thoughts and feelings about real life moral challenges they face. So the first is about journaling. So we need to encourage the students to document their thoughts, to write their thoughts. So let them speak it orally or let them put it on paper, and about the real life moral challenges they face. So the challenges they face, let them put it down, and they can try to find the solution for it. Or we can also ask the students to get the various challenges or various things they feel, they read in the paper and try to get the solutions for it. So the next one is the guided reflections. Use structured prompts to guide students in analyzing the consequences of their actions. So we need to use proper actions and consequences. Next is a group reflections, which discusses the varied perspectives. So so we need to create opportunities. So actually in group reflections, what we do is we create opportunities for collaborative reflection, allowing students to engage in peer discussions about ethical dilemmas. So the fourth one is self-assessment. Equip students with tools to assess their own growth in ethical reasoning. So these approaches help students develop a deeper understanding of ethical concepts through introspection. So the next is implementing ethics in co-curricular ethics. So ethical education should extend beyond the classrooms. So it is not the one which we learn in the classroom. So how value education is not the one which we learn in the classroom and forget in the classroom itself. It has to be carried on. It should be within us. The same way the ethics. So ethics and value education is not entirely the different one. So they are one at the same. So co-curricular ethics, it has to be carried beyond the classroom. So it is not within the classroom. It has to be carried along with the person. And this slide explores way to integrate the ethics into the co-curricular activities. So first one is the model UN and debates. So engage students in global ethical issues and encourage them to consider the diverse perspective. So discuss on the worldly thing, that is the world news. Focus on not only the national news and the local news. So focus on the new news, global challenges. So and let them discuss about the issues, whatever it is. So they become aware of the problems, whatever is around them, surrounding the world, and let them find the solution. Try to find the solution. So second one is service learning projects. So promote social responsibility through community involvement. So third one is peer mediation programs. So develop negotiation and conflict resolution skills in real world scenarios. So how to develop the negotiation and the conflict resolution. So when conflict comes, so how it has to be resolved. So next one is the ethics club. Here, it creates a platform where students can explore and discuss moral dilemmas in the supporting environment. So, by incorporating these activities, the educators can reinforce ethical learning in practical settings. So, the next is about the role of educators as ethical guides. So, it empowers students by connecting ethical decisions to lifelong values. So, here, the ethical role model, they demonstrate the integrity and fairness in the interaction with the students. So, what happens is they can just involve themselves, the educators can involve themselves in a fair way, and so without any variations or anything, so let everyone participate. So they have to be in a way that they encourage everyone, or bring in the potentials of everyone, and involve in open dialogue, create a safe environment. The students should feel safe. Okay, when they share something about themselves or anything, it has to be kept secret within that particular area or the particular discussion room. So next is about the encourage inquiry, the question assumptions. So promote critical thinking by encouraging the students to question assumptions. So let the students question. So many students fail to question. They fail to ask why, what. So let them ask the questions. So it is the educators. So and how they move among the students, so that they increase the potential, or they bring the potential of questioning among students. So next is regarding the ethical leadership. So coming to the ethical leadership is essential for creating a culture of integrity. So this slide outlines key aspects of ethical leadership. So first one is code of conduct. So it defines guidelines for students, faculty, and staff. So code of conduct defines a clear standard. So how the student, how the staff, and how the faculties, everyone has to behave. So next one is the inclusive policies. So it ensures the fairness and equal opportunities for all students. So everyone should get the equal opportunity. And the third one is conflict resolution. So facing the grievances or trying to resolve the grievances. So that is with respect to ethical leadership. So ethical leadership is what a person, for example, a person may be the team leader or maybe the CEO of a company. So what the person has to follow, and what kind of leadership they can have is they can provide the code of conduct. That is, they have to set a clear standards for their employees, and each one should be inclusive fairness. So they have to bring in the fairness among them, and if any grievances or anything, they have to be addressed in a proper way. So community engagement. So community engagement is ethical education is most effective when supported by families and communities. So it's not that the ethical education is dealing with the educators or the academic institutions and the students. It is not that. So it is the involvement of the society. So it is not only the students, it is not only the academics or the educators, it's involvement, complete involvement of the society. And the first and foremost, the role is being played by the parents. So parents have to be trained, or they can be involved in workshops and discussions to align the family values with school ethics. So they have to be given or support to their children, and equipping them so that they are tuned according to the school or according to the college. So parents has to put in their first effort in order to train their kids. And the second one is the service collaboration. It encourages students to participate in the real world challenges. And third is the mentorship programs. So connect the students with the role models from the community. So we should encourage the students. We should ask the students, so the role model, and who's their role model, and why they have chosen them as a role model, and what were the difficulties they faced, and how did they solve. So likewise, we have to get the details, or make the students to get educated based on their role models in the society. So next one is the ethical events. So ethics focused events, they the fourth one is nothing but organizing the seminar symposium that promote the ethical awareness. So for the community engagement, it is the involving of parents, community, school can reinforce ethical learning beyond the classroom. So it is their involvement, the parents' involvement, the mentors' involvement, and the events, whatever they have undergone already, all these are going to help them in becoming a better. So coming to ethics in digital age, so we can see that 90% internet access for teens and 60% social media users online. 40% have experienced cyberbullying and 20% experienced a data breach. Okay, so being a digital age and we use internet a lot, and so internet and social media. So what happens is cyberbullying and data breach are all have become one among a day-to-day activity it has become. So we should train ourselves, and we should also train the students how they should protect themselves and how they can be safe. So cybersecurity awareness is educating the students about data privacy and protection. So they should have a strong password, they should protect their details when sharing in the social platform, social media. So promote respect and fairness in virtual interactions. So, digital ethics education prepares students to navigate online environments with integrity. So, next is assessing ethical competency. So, assessing ethical competency is essential for understanding student progress. So, here this slide introduces effective frameworks. So, the first one is rubric based assessment. So, evaluate moral reasoning and decision making skills. So, how we are going to assess? So, once we are going to include this ethics into the curriculum, how we are going to assess the students? So, we are going to evaluate the reasoning skills. So, given a situation, how the situation is being handled by the student, and evaluating their reasoning skills, and based on that rubric has to be framed. So the next one is a scenario based testing, where real world ethical dilemmas to assess applied knowledge. So real situations, case studies will be given to them, and the decisions that they take and what they reply. So that becomes a scenario based testing, and analysis have to be applied for the scenario, and we going to test the result, test the knowledge of them. So the third one is the reflective essays, that is encourage students to analyze their ethical growth, their personal growth. So when students are going through this ethical things, so they understand that they have become better if they have really utilized the curriculum which has inculcated ethics into them. So it helps them a lot, and they will understand that there is some personal growth and some kind of development that they have achieved. So measuring ethical growth poses unique challenges. Actually, this is actually a challenge one. So it is important to assess decision making skills and personal development. So next is strategies to overcome implementation behavior. So, implementing ethical education comes with challenges. So, here we identify the common barriers like time constraints, so difficulty in integrating ethics into an already packed curriculum. Actually, what happens is our curriculum is packed, and we have the time has been framed, and the subjects has been framed. Everything is fixed properly, and inserting this ethics into the curriculum, it's a tough time. So second one is a teacher's preparedness. So lack of professional training in ethical pedagogy. So being a new thing, inserting this, and the teacher has to be prepared in taking it, and this insertion of ethics into the academic should not go in vain. So student engagement, and it is not only the educators who should be more motivated, it is the student who also should understand the importance, and they also should involve themselves. Evaluation complexity, assessing qualitative aspects of ethical growth. So recognizing these challenges help educators develop strategies to overcome them. So these strategies will help them to overcome the problems that they face in the ethical education. So to ensure successful integration of ethical education, so what are the various things the educators have to follow is professional development for teachers. So they have to bring in the professional development for teachers. And the next is utilizing cross disciplinary approaches, and incorporating the student feedback, and also using the technology to enhance engagement and evaluation. So the four things that has to be kept in mind or to be followed is the training on this integration. So how ethics is going to get integrated and embed ethics in diverse subjects. So it is, instead of integrating ethics or bringing in ethics as a separate subject, it has to be, or it can be integrated into various subjects like science, technology, and so on. So adapt content based on student responses. So it has to be inculcated so that it supports students. So it should, there should not be a gap or anything between the students thinking and the ethics that have been inserted, embedded. So use the technology to enhance the engagement and evaluation. So earlier we have seen the various technologies, various AI technologies which can be used in order to get the involvement of the students, so that can be practiced on. So the next is the role of AI in ethical pedagogy. So AI can enhance ethical learning through innovative approaches. Here we explore AI applications in ethical education. So first one is AI powered ethical simulation, that is personalized learning. So personalized learning, AI tailors ethical simulations to individual student needs. So depending upon the individuals, so what happens, it makes a personalized kind of learning. So how we use the GPTs, chat GPTs and other things. So depending upon our questions, it is answering us. So same way, it is actually the personalized learning. So depending upon your situations, it gives a personalized solutions. So instant feedback, automated assessment provide immediate insights on moral reasoning. So we get do instant feedback from the things. And the next is data driven insight, track progress in ethical competency. So the third one is tracking the progress. Next is ethical guidelines for AI integration. So to ensure responsible AI which is used in education, ethical guidelines must be followed. So first one is ensuring fairness. That is, how can we ensure fairness, transparency, and respect to privacy? So the first thing, how to ensure fairness means avoid biases in AI model to promote equitable outcomes for all students. So students should be assessed based on their performances, and there should not be any kind of biases uh, in marking the students in categorizing or giving grade to the students. So second one is transparency in algorithm. So explain decision making process to users. So tell them how the decision is being made. Third one is respecting privacy. So safeguard student data and ensure consent. So if any students share the data or the data that is being discussed in the class or anything, so the data has to be protected properly. So it is teaching ethics and the educators not following ethics or anybody else, the other students or anything. So it will not be a fair move. So they have to protect the data whatever they share it during the sessions. Next is exploring future directions in ethical education. So the future of ethical education involves embracing new technologies and methodologies. So the first one is AI tutoring. So it guides students in ethical reflection, and the second one is cross-disciplinary ethics. It incorporates ethics into STEM and beyond. That is, STEM is nothing but the science, technology, engineering, and math. So incorporating the ethics into the STEM is very important, and beyond that also is needed. So ethics can be embedded in all these fields or on in all these domains. So the third one is the global standards. So promote cross cultural understanding also. It is not that only giving the case studies with respect to that particular environment or where within that own country. So give them various situations, the problems that people face globally, the problems that are being faced globally. So it will be helpful for them to find the situations. So no one knows who is going to be a person who is going to solve those problems also. So coming to the case study, so successful ethics integration. So for successful ethics integration, the case study plays a very important role, and it highlights where ethics was successfully integrated into the curriculum. So here, coming to this particular thing, so we are going to see where the ethics have been integrated successfully. So here we have to focus from the bottom of the pyramid to the top. So initially when ethics is being integrated, so definitely a lot of challenges and are there. Actually, why the challenges are there means it's because of the lack of framework. So lack of framework creates or brings in a lot of challenges. So once these challenges and the framework has been done, we find a solution. So second step is finding the solution to the challenges, and the faculties are being trained. So the framework has been done, challenges are overcome, and the solution is being built, and the faculties are being trained. So once the solution is built and the faculties are trained, then it is now time to see the increased student engagement, and finally we get the fruit of outcomes. So it depends upon us how we get the outcome. So the challenges, lack of framework, everything when it is scheduled from the bottom, that is from the bottom of the pyramid, when it is discussed, when it is each and every problem is being analyzed and structured properly, then what happens? We are going to get the increased student engagement, and the outcome of the ethics integration into education is going to be a success. So the starting point is a challenging one since there is a lack of framework, but slowly what happens is this outcomes. So slowly when this is overcome or when this is solved, the outcomes is going to be a good one. So, what are the lessons learned from ethics implementation? So, reflecting on lessons learned provides valuable insights for future environment. So, first one is ethical integration requires consistent reinforcement. So, continuously we have to keep on reinforcing, relearning everything. So, next lesson is multidisciplinary approaches enhance ethical perspectives. So, if a problem is given, so the best thing is to find multidisciplinary approach or the perspective, so from different viewpoints. So the same problem, if it is in the side of a student how they think, if it is in the side of the staff how it is understood. So in each and every one's perspective, if the same thing is analyzed, so how they are going to bring in their ethics into it and how they are going to solve the issue. So it is very important that we try to understand the perspectives of different people. So this understanding the perspectives of different people will help us to overcome a lot of problems in real world situations. So it will help them to resolve the problems in their what to say, among the friends or in the workplace, wherever it is. So when they start understanding others, so definitely the problems may not occur. Much of the unnecessary egoistic problems will come to an end. So next is the technology amplification. So making learning more engaging and effective. So by using the technologies, we can make the students involve themselves in education in a more engaging and effective manner. So the next one is evaluating long-term impact of ethics integration. So your long-term evaluation is necessary to assess the impact of ethics integration. So the first thing is the monitoring the behavioral changes. So after inculcating the students with the ethics, so after inculcating the students and after training them, so it is our duty to just see the effect of it, outcome of it. So when seeing the outcome of it, we can see the first thing that comes or that can be visualized is the behavioral changes. We can track the responses in the real life scenario. So track the student responses to real life scenario, and we could see that the student on the day one when they attended or when they were listening to the class, and to the way they approach the problems, they find the solution, their it had been a rapid change in them. So how they approach, how they face, how they solve a particular problem, it changes. So all these classes, it should help them and it should motivate them to become better. So this is the benefit of having the behavioral changes. So we need to track the responses in the real life scenario. So tracking is very important. And next is the ethical awareness. So use longitudinal studies to evaluate the progress. So it's a longitudinal study, it's a long term process. So once it is being inculcated, so continuously check it and see whether they are using it throughout. So that is important. So ethical awareness is not that completing a course and forgetting it, it has to be carried lifelong. So it is a longitudinal studies which has to be evaluated. So the third one is the institutional policy, which ensure alignment with ethical values. So ensure alignment with ethical values. So that is the third thing. And these evaluation techniques ensure continuous improvements in ethical education. Next is building a sustainable ethical culture. So creating a lasting ethical culture requires a multifaceted approach. So first one is institutionalizing policies. So create a foundation for change. So establish a foundation for long-term change. So next one is collaborative ethics networks. Next is building the network. So first one is the institutionalizing policies. So second one is building the network. So engaging the stakeholders across sectors. And third one is the curriculum improvement, so which is adapting to evolving ethical challenges. So a sustainable ethical culture ensures that ethical values remain embedded in educational institutions. So coming to the conclusion, the road ahead. So in conclusion, integrating ethical decision making prepares students to face real life challenges with moral clarity. So if it comes to me, so my suggestion would be that this ethics, teaching ethics is more important than teaching other subjects. So it is what that is going to help the society or help the person to live in a society. So face the challenges. So world is of challenges. So these ethics is going to train them how to face the world and how to transform the values into empowerment for their betterment. Actually, it is going to help the teachers and the students. So by embedding ethics in education, we transform values into empowerment for teachers and students. So this is the concluding slide where you have been invited for any questions. So if any questions.
Any queries?
Any questions?
Any queries from participants? Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You have said we can impart ethics through
Yes, ma'am.
curriculum. Through curriculum.
Mm.
How can we do it, ma'am?
How can we do it?
How can we do it? How can we implement it? Because we focus syllabus only to make them to success in their career. We
Yes,
don't focus on ethics. So how can
Yeah,
we
ma'am.
do it?
Ma'am, that is what I discussed in one of the slides, that actually it has to be embedded. That is, it can be embedded into the subject. That is how the environmental science, how the EVS was included in the as a part of a subject. So in all the each and every subject, that how we have to protect the trees, how we have to save our environment. The same way, this ethics is the need of the hour actually. So because the student should understand the ethics, and it is through the ethics we are going to build a very good society, ma'am. So it's 100% very important that it has to be included, and along with the subject. So along with the subject, as they are learning the subjects such as like cyber security or any kind of computer related subjects, so there it can be included, so it helps them a lot. Or it can be included in value educations, where most of the students or most of the institutions, they don't prioritize this value education. Actually, it is these subjects that has to be prioritized, has to be given more priority to build a future good citizens actually.
Yes, ma'am. But no one focuses on that. I hope. No
Yeah, that
university
is
will
what.
follow.
So nowadays,
This is your
they
idea.
yeah. So many focuses on that is money oriented and other things. But this is actually if they inculcate, so we can build a good society. Even starting from our house. So if they are not inculcating, also we can start from our house. We can just foster these ideas into our kids or the kids whoever we see, and so automatically it will get developed, ma'am. So each and
Okay.
everyone can do the change.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Abhita ma'am. Thank you, Loganayagi ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you once again, ma'am.
I thank
My
the
initial
audience. Once again, ma'am. I thank the audience and emphasizing the importance of continued efforts in integrating ethics in education. And I also thank SK Research Group of companies for giving me this opportunity. And I thank Satish sir for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Ah.